Hi, Neil again. So I'm on a pre-purchase this morning in Tyne and Wear, and I just thought I'd put a little post up for the less experienced surveyors as to why it is worth going the extra mile now and again. So it's a typical damp and timber survey. So they've had a level two survey carried out. The surveyors recommended further investigation about some areas of concern, and the clients have obviously got in contact and asked us if we can do the survey. So I'm coming through into the lounge. So I know this isn't typical. I know not everybody's confident and capable of doing it. Well, they're probably capable, but just not confident. So I decided to take the carpet up. I had permission from the vendors to roll back any carpets. So I've rolled the carpet back, popped the board up, and initially, when I rolled the carpet back, there's no real sign of any issues. Everything looks not too bad, but then I noticed little piles of dust, which is boar dust. It's where the adult beetles have obviously emerged from the timber. And I know not everybody wants to do it, but you pick a bit up on your finger and rub it between, and you'll feel those lemon-shaped pellets. There. They have a standing joke when I'm doing training. I say to people, if you taste it, it tastes like cinnamon. And there's always somebody in the class decides to have a taste. I'm sure it doesn't do them any harm, but no, I wouldn't advise that. So I've seen these little piles of boar dust. We're actually, we've had a really warm spell of weather in the last few weeks. So the adult beetles, well, the larvae are going through pupation, and then they emerge as adults and bore the way out of the timber. Off they go in search for a mate. So looking at it, that's the only real evidence that I saw. But you often find it's like the tip of an iceberg. And the more you get into it, the more you find. So I took a board up here. There's your boar dust again on the cobwebs. Very, very typical, and it's a great way to spot. If you're checking subfloors or roof timbers, look at the cobwebs, because invariably they often catch the boar dust. But you turn the board over. If you look at this board on the surface, nothing to see. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flight holes on this upper surface. But again, nothing that's really going to jump out and catch your eye. But you turn it over and you can see the extent of the infestation. So again, a nice little one. If you want to get some boar dust, just tap the board on the floor, and there's our boar dust. So don't do the taste test. It's a bit of a joke when I'm actually doing survey training, and so it's just one of these. We get asked to do these surveys, and they ask for a damp and timber survey. It's very, very easy to say no inspection possible. This was relatively straightforward. Just roll the carpets back, pop the board up, and now I've got a pretty good view. The joists themselves are in pretty good condition. Moisture content 26-28%. It's too high, but that'll be because the air bricks on the front have all been filled in with mortar for some unknown reason. But other than that, the timbers are generally sound. There's a bit of rubble and debris on the oversight, which needs to be reduced, because in a few places the joists are actually touching the debris, and which has resulted in some elevated moisture levels in those timbers. But all in all, it's not a huge issue, but it's one that would have been missed had I not had the opportunity to lift the carpets and pop a floorboard up. So I'll go through to the back room now, and I'll do exactly the same. So I spoke to the client earlier on, and they had concerns about the floor. So I can go back to them and say, yeah, you're right, there's a bit of woodworm. It's a pretty minor treatment. But other than that, the joists themselves are in decent condition, no significant breakdown. So I get the woodworm treatment carried out, get the air bricks sorted out on the front elevation, get the air bricks sorted out on the rear elevation, so we've got cross-flow ventilation, and it should be good to go. So there you are. I hope it helps. For the less experienced, it does take a little bit of confidence to think, right, I'm going to get into it and pop these boards up. But these days, with multi-tools and everything else, it just makes life so much easier. When I first started in the industry, we used to use manual floorboard cutters, and I'm sure some of the old fogies like me will remember them. And it was a laborious task, and it would take you around about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to cut one board using the multi-tool. Come in, takes on about 2-3 minutes, and then you can just pop them up and away we go. I hope this helps. Okay, thanks a lot now. Bye-bye.